Saltus village, just before the mountains, before the wildness. Who knows which secret hides in that creepy town? The air there is just full of mystery and death.
Hello fellow crafters and welcome back to maxdmcrafting. In projects like this, before moving on to the actual design phase, it is essential to draw on sources of inspiration that allow us to create our mental image of what we are going to achieve. Today the whole world is just a click away. It is really very easy to find images to inspire you. The original project, dating back to 2018, was exactly double what I then managed to create in reality. The village of Saltus had to have two complexes of houses which, adding what was created up to that point, would have given life to the small town. Once I started and finished the first block of houses, however, I reached a kind of burnout, which made me abandon the second part. The construction technique consisted in cutting out shapes in a very normal corrugated cardboard and then covering them in XPS foam. In this way, every single wall is built in detail. If you want to learn more about this technique, take a look at my video on half-timbered houses. The entire village is designed to be combined like a puzzle. There are 4 sections that are combined in line. Most of the work involved pen engraving the XPS foam. This type of technique is not possible with all types of insulation foam. A highly density and not very elastic foam, such as Styrodur or Elifoam, is preferable. Right from the start, I had intended to combine these pieces with other models. Here you see a beautiful example of how it is possible to combine the small townhouse with the connecting bridge at the crossroads inn. Modularity is everything. The most important piece of the entire composition is certainly the central one. The major house has a huge ground floor, houses a gigantic room on the first floor and, with its height, gives a dynamism to entire creation. One of the most controversial aspects was choosing whether or not to have walls in the houses. When it comes to homes, however, the temptation to have interior walls furnished and rich in details is very strong. Here I therefore decided on a compromise. The entire ground floor is built with the no walls technique, while the first floor is accessible by removing the roof on the various sections, then presents the walls. The mill wheel represents the modularity of this piece at its best. Together with the staircase to directly access the doors of the second floor, it was created as a piece in its own right. Notice that in the central part I have inserted metal washers. This is because in several places of the houses I have inserted small magnets to hook the wheel. The water mill can attach the wheel both on the back, when it is combined with the whole house complex, then on the side. Even the townhouse can thus become a water mill. Nice! When the surface of the roof becomes important, it is necessary to resort to techniques that allow the covering of large area in a short time. In this case, instead of gluing the tiles one at a time, I prefer to use cardboard strips that I have patiently cut out. As I said, the complex is playable inside the first floor, where the walls offer that warm feeling of refuge inside the house, while the ground floor is perfectly compatible with my game system without walls. This favors the transition between village and dungeon, with a high level of playability without completely sacrificing the aesthetic aspect. Nothing has given me more satisfaction than seeing the various pieces completed, with time and a lot of patience, as I had designed them. Time, patience and beer. Another big challenge was the creation of the main roof, a cross shape with a central turret. The details are many, and if I think back to the time it took to cut the various segments with the right shape and inclination, well, I still have nightmares. What you see now is my city setup during one of the game sessions. Everything you see, I mean everything guys, you can find it built step by step on my channel. Explore my videos. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to support the channel on Patreon. Now more than ever I need your support guys. Subscribe to the channel, share and like. Until next time, happy crafting!